The man to my right, the Emmy Award winner, the actor Tony Hale of Disney Plus's The Mysterious Benedict Society and more. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Are you talking about me?
I'm talking about you
and
your wonderful show that my entire family watches.
That is really nice.
And it's very excited it's back for season 2.
Me too. I love it. It's such a beautiful show.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are working on it, just the artistry around it, like the hair, makeup, production design. But it's also, in addition to being such a great adventure, the messaging, I just get really excited about it, especially this season. The complicated brother.
Yes.
He has reinvented himself as a self-help guru selling happiness.
Ah.
And and then Benedict represents kind of, he's kind of a mess, but it's cool because you really see the difference between artificial happiness and authentic happiness. And to me, I think that's a message we all need to hear.
I love it, man. And again, season 1 is when I watched it last year. They're based on the best-selling book series by Trenton Lee Stewart, and my kids knew about it and were like, "Let's watch it." And I'm into because I love you, and that's seriously. And
we're gonna hang out soon.
Yeah, that's apparently, and that's not a Los Angeles thing. This is the truth.
No.
And so, my kids were like, let's check it out. And I sat down and I watched it. And I'll be honest, the first episode, I'm like, what sort of mushrooms are they on over here?
Yeah, we take a lot of mushrooms.
It's just a fascinating look to it and a fascinating, writing to it. And then it all together, it really is. There's nothing like it on television.
Yeah, and the writer is, I just love Trenton so much, and I appreciate, I like the superhero shows and all the magic, and that's really fun.
Yeah.
But these kids' superpowers are their creativity, their intellect, and their empathy. And that's what they bring to the table. And it's just like, I think that's, everybody has that. Everybody can have that. That's not like you got to go to some magic place and get like a superpower or whatever,
Right, and then congratulations on the Children's and Family Emmy Awards, the Outstanding Young Teen Series.
Yeah, we got 11 noms. Isn't that nice? Noms, guys. That's LA speak.
I love that.
We got some noms.
Noms.
So which other Disney stars are you going to go crush on the red carpet? Like, who else do we have in the category? Like,
I don't know actually. I need to look at the list. I just heard about it coming on over here.
Oh, really? This just literally happened.
This is breaking news, guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sort of like what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets and everything else going on in the world.
The NFL world.
NFL trade deadline, and now, and our guest who shows up here. By the way,
anytime you start talking about sports, I disassociate.
That's okay. You know what this is?
I don't know what's happening.
Here's what it is. I'll explain to you. It's called the Rich Eisen Show bump.
Okay.
We're going to take credit for it.
Okay.
Forget about the whole hard work stuff.
Okay.
Forget about what I just said about how terrific you're in this show.
Oh, okay.
And how all the writing is and all the...
I have to forget about that.
Or discount it.
Okay,
don't forget it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Discount it.
Okay.
But congratulations on that.
Thank
too,
you,
man.
I love coming here because I love seeing all the trinkets. You guys have a lot of trinkets on your desk.
What jumps out at you?
Oh well, let me get my glasses on because I saw it up close.
We got.
But there's a bald-headed doll right there.
Actually, tell them what that is.
So this is a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Are you familiar with him?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. The professional wrestler. That is a piggy bank that my mom sent me like 20 years ago when I was in college.
Great.
And I since got him to autograph the head.
You got Stone Cold to autograph the head.
Autograph his own head.
Wasn't there something like Stone Cold 316 or
316? Yes.
Austin 316.
Austin 316
says I just whooped your ass.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Because it's a takeoff on a bite like John 316.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now
so
you
it's
got
possible.
it.
That's how he came up
Except
with it.
this one smashes beers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
that's involved in
Well,
that
that's
too.
scriptural. And what's the gold situation right here?
That is a fake World Cup trophy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, or is that the real thing, Mike? Did
Yeah,
did you
terrific.
snag
That was
the real
what I
thing from
wanted.
Fox
Really
before we did
wanted.
that?
I got one.
Snagged it.
It's funny. I don't see any Buster Bluth or Gary Walsh or Forky trinkets.
That's because you haven't
Good.
brought it to us,
That's
Tony.
I don't see a Benedict twin or anything like that.
Again, these are everything that you see
fair.
there was brought to us by. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. The cellular telephone that Mike has from 1980 that might be might be blocking you right there. The rest of the equipment might be blocking your vision.
I don't see the cellular.
You go ahead and hold it up, Mike. It's right there over your right there. That's it, right there.
Oh wow!
Right there. Tell him who autographed that.
This was autographed by Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Oh, that's
this was
cool.
my actual phone.
That is not the one that.
No, that's not his.
But did you get a wake up call from somebody like Gordon
I
Gekko
got a lot
on
of
that?
wake up calls on this bad boy as a production assistant.
There you go.
Early
Tony,
days in
are
LA.
you familiar with that 70s show?
Yes.
Okay, so this TV was actually the foreman's TV in their basement that they.
Oh, that's cool.
I jacked that on the last day that they shot. It was just like a ride, and people
that's
just were grabbing.
awesome.
So yeah.
I love that.
There you go. Thank you. Tony Hale loves our
lot of
set
stuff.
dressing right
I
here.
like your trinkets. Somebody asked me recently
yes.
if I brought anything from Arrested Development, asked if I brought the hook, and I said no.
Where is the hook?
Because it was too hot on my hand. It was so hot, and I was like,
So
I don't
what do you
remember that.
have from your career?
I
that's
brought
now?
I grabbed Gary's bag
So you have the
from
satchel?
Veep. Yes.
It's
I
an
grabbed the
actual
bag.
real deal?
I grabbed the bag.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Leviathan.
Okay. And that's it from your entire
That was
career?
it. That was it. And then I think I grabbed some office things from Benedict.
Okay.
From like a blanket and stuff. And some of them I might have asked, and then some of them I took.
Did you five-finger discounted?
Cut to the
Fantastic.
Disney executives approaching me after I leave here. And
I have some aspects of your career, Tony Hale, that I would like to know if are true or false. We have a game that we play
oh, I love games.
called Celebrity True or False.
Sure.
And it comes with some...
And I'm a massive celebrity, so that works.
Well, you've been in a lot of great stuff, and you are very famous, Tony Hale. Okay, let's just jump
questionable.
right into it. We have great production value that comes along with it. Here, hit it.
This is exciting.
Celebrity, true or false?
You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
Great.
All right, first up, Celebrity True or False with Tony Hale. First up, you are occasionally recognized as the star of the famous Volkswagen commercial featuring your dancing to the song Mr. Roboto. Is that true or false?
I'm currently recognized for it?
Or you're often recognized
No,
as it?
I'm not.
Okay, but you were... That's false! See, everybody thinks we can only give
false.
true. You're great.
That's false.
You're false? Nobody
I'm
comes up to you?
often no, I'm never recognized for that.
Ever. Fantastic. Can you...
What if you just listed all my credits and I just go,
Nope.
never recognized
That,
that.
by the way, it would be a first, but that would be outstanding. We don't mind being wrong. This is from the internet. We're not claiming these to be
this
true.
is true or false.
This
so
is
I'm
why.
saying
That's exactly.
false.
It's not like what's.
Sorry, I'm showing some skin today, guys. I
You
apologize.
look great, man. I do love the shoes and the socks and all
Thank
of it
you.
together.
I went a little Pippi Longstocking today.
So, do you know the song "Mr. Roboto"
Mr.
to this
Roboto.
day?
Uh-huh.
Like, to this day, can you?
Domo arigato bisto babato. But also, fun
Yes.
fact, it
Yes.
was between.
Domo.
I can't stop staring at myself. Is that narcissism? Maybe. It was a difference. It was a choice between that and Rock Me Amadeus.
Wow.
And they chose Mr. Roboto.
It was both. Did you do the commercial as both, and then
No.
they just edit room made last
No.
decision?
But in my audition, I remember auditioning with Rock Me Amadeus, and I guess they saw that and they were like, scratch. And they said, we're doing Mr. Roboto.
So okay.
And another fun fact, Phil Morrison directed that commercial, and he directed a movie called Junebug.
I've heard of that
Years ago.
fantastic film, and I've seen it. So, but just shows your range that you're able to audition for Rock Me Amadeus. They switch you up to Mr. Roboto, and you still nailed it.
They just see me and go, he's crazy.
It's crazy, but you're not often recognized for that at all.
No, I would say never.
That's false. Next one, celebrate true or false with Tony Hale. True or false? You fought through nerves shooting an episode of The Sopranos. That's true.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I thought, look
at you.
Hello. My gosh.
That's you. What are you doing in this episode of The Sopranos?
Just admiring my young skin. Hopefully. I
doing?
would. Okay, so I played Uncle Junior's like nurse giving him chemo during his cancer treatments, and I was so nervous. When I get nervous, my hands shake.
Okay.
That's how my nerves manifest
Yes.
itself. By the way, not shaking today because I'm fully relaxed.
Look at you.
And but when I got on set, my hands were shaking so violently that I was paranoid, because can you imagine a nurse coming up to you shaking, giving you chemo treatment?
Yes.
Terrifying. And by the grace of God, they just calmed down. And right before I did my take,
Was it Dominic Chianese that made you nervous, or what was it?
I think it was just the whole idea. I I just done commercials. I'd done very little TV, and it was The Sopranos. Like I was like, this was like the height of it. Of course. And like that and Sex and the City were like the shows in New York to get. And I just got this little role, and I was like, Tony, don't screw it up. And my hands were just like, when I did plays, I would have to put weights in the cups because my hands would shake.
Damn.
From cups, yeah.
No kidding.
I'm a broken vessel, guys.
That was my next true or false. True or false, you're a broken vessel.
I am a disaster.
Let me just cross that one
Tony,
off.
Tony, you went from The Sopranos right to Sex and the City right after that.
So you did,
I
despite
did
the shaking hands, you still got a call?
Oh, I started booking
Darren
gigs
Star's like,
after
get
this.
that shaking hand guy?
Yeah. I was a photographer's assistant, and my name was Tiger. On Sex and the City.
That's true.
And I was thrilled to be on it.
Can confirm?
Can confirm.
That confirmed, yeah, Tiger.
Oh, so you were on.
Which, by the way, tracks.
Fantastic. Tony Hale, celebrity true or false. Next one. While shooting Arrested Development, you often went home inadvertently still in character as Buster Bluth. Is that true or false?
Yes, that is true because there's my wife, Buster was always in a state of defense and very sensitive.
Yes.
And he was a live wire of emotion.
Yes.
And I would come home, and if my wife would say something like, did you do this? I'd be like, no, I didn't. Like I was still reacting as Buster. I was like, why you say that? Like very hypersensitive. And she was like, we've got to leave Buster at work. I can't be married to that.
Certainly when you got in a fetal position on the floor
exactly.
at home. So
and then I started dressing in pastels, and I got really but
you started
it was
taking your family to the banana stand. It's really weird,
was
man.
weird.
The whole thing is weird.
I know, but it was so I definitely took it home, and then stopped.
And so, who was the one that cracked everyone up the most on that show?
The one who cracked me up the most was Will Arnett, who played Job.
I mean, by the way, that just cracks me up even hearing that.
And the fact that I think somebody called him Gob, and he was always like, it's Job. But this, you take, obviously Will Arnett is so funny, but that mixed with the resonance of his voice,
yes,
he just has that deep, just sound. It was so funny to me. And just, he was so mean to Buster, and it was just a joy.
And David Cross too,
oh
I
my
imagine,
gosh.
right?
David Cross, when he would show up as Blue Man, and he thought, well, one of the best jokes was that he joined the Blue Man group because he thought it was a support group for depressed men. Which is like, if there's not a better joke. And then he was like Mrs. Featherbottom because it was like a takeoff of Miss Doubtfire. And David Cross, poor thing, he was in blue paint all the time, and he was having to take showers before he went home. And then he just went through it, but he was great.
We had Henry Winkler in this chair
Oh,
over
I
the
love that
summer.
man.
And I was kicking myself. Obviously, I could ask him about a million things in his career.
Sure.
I forgot to ask him about Arrested Development.
You know what? He has always been an example to me. When I first moved to LA, I didn't know. I had that impression like, oh, does everybody become a douchebag in this business and get jaded and just like whatever, my wrong narrative in my head. And I met Henry, and he is just the kindest. And I mean, he's been in it for decades, and he is still so gracious and kind and giving. And it's like, I was like, oh, it's possible.
Now, when he was here and he was talking about how, his German-speaking dad, or Austrian, whatever, told him that he should tell Gary Marshall, you should water ski. And that's why he wound up on water skis jumping the shark. And then the shark thing came to be. And he told that whole story.
Wow.
And then he worked Blue. He said, but we were on the air for 5 years, #1 show after all that jump of the shark. So F him. And he said the actual word. And I'm like, oh my God. It came out of nowhere. It was like the ultimate curveball.
Oh, I love it. I love when he jumped the shark and Arrested.
Well, that show never did that, sir.
No, but he did. Do you remember?
Did he really do
There was
that?
a scene, he was making a joke from what he did then.
Yeah.
There was a shark laying on the deck, and he jumped over it.
I never saw that.
His character did, yeah.
There was only, I guess, 500 episodes of the show, so
Yeah,
I
it was
guess I
good.
must have missed that one. Last one for you, true or false. The writers on Veep wanted you guys to improvise scenes before shooting the scripts that were finalized.
We would meet for like 2 weeks. Oh, there's Julia. She's the best. We would meet for 2 weeks, and it was improvising, but it was more of like they wrote the scripts and they just wanted to see if they gelled, like if stuff was working. And they just weren't very precious with the words. So if we came up with stuff, they would be open to putting it in and bits, and so much fun stuff came out of that.
So when you just saw Julia Louis-Dreyfus, what was your? You got a good story for her on the set?
I love her, but also both of us would break so much. And one of my favorite stories is I one time couldn't stop laughing, and she says, "Tony, you know you're not watching the show, you're in the show." And I was like, yeah, but it's a funny show. And many times I would start laughing, and since I whispered in her ear so much, I would just laugh right into her ear. And she's like, okay, you gotta like settle down, man. But when you're that close to someone like her and she's doing all that subtlety, it's like, it's impossible not to laugh.
I miss the show.
Oh, I do too. But whoever saw the finale, there's this, we did kind of a flash forward way ahead, and there's this huge gap of time in between, and I'm like, I would do anything to go back and have Dave Mandel write whatever happened in that gap of time, because I think we all would love to be together again.
Right.
Like a Veep movie?
That would be...
Oh, a movie, sure. Anything to do with those guys
the Gap
would be great.
movie?
All right.
Yeah.
And you'd be all in on that, right?
Oh, I'd be totally all in.
Whose idea was it for you to jump on the stage at the award show?
Oh, that was Julia's. She called me that day and she said, if I win, I want you to come and carry my purse. And of course, in my head, I'm thinking, you are going to win. So terrifying. And then she just pulled me up there, and we had come up with a little bit. And then we had the idea of me whispering to thank her family.
And I just love your body language there. I mean, you were so in your character.
Well, I just
right
I worshipped her. And also, people have always said, oh, was it hard to hear the abuse from Selena to you? But Gary just heard poetry. Like she would never say mean things to him in his mind. So he never even heard it, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I wish I could, ask you your favorite curse word from the show, but we are on many other networks.
I will say,
but, I mean,
Jonah Ryan got the worst. Who played Timothy Simons. Like, I think he was one time somebody said to him, you just have an odd shape. He's like, well, how do you not? That hurts, man. And then the thing is, sometimes people would make it up. And I remember Reed Scott, who played Dan.
Yes.
He comes out of nowhere. It's not even scripted. To me, he goes, hey, cow eyes. And I'm like,
wait a minute.
Cow eyes? Like this, what are you talking about, man? This isn't
because if that's not scripted,
I know.
Then...
And of course, for the next 2 weeks, I'm looking in the mirror like, are they cow eyes? Do I have cow eyes?
Oh my gosh. Well, again, congrats on the news you just received that you're nominated for 11 Children and Family Emmy Awards as the Outstanding Young Teen Series. I can, with the young teen in my household and 2 about to be.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you they want
they're
you
sweet
to win.
Kids. I got a chance to meet them.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, they ran into you and they're like, we ran into, Mr. Benedict. And I'm like,
really
that's
fun.
so cool, man. And again, Jamie Tarse is also a family friend.
Oh,
she passed away, and she's the the executive producer of the show. And
I unfortunately never got a chance to meet her.
She's just a dynamic person,
Yeah.
and so another reason why we love watching this show is her spirit. Definitely is in this show, man.
It is.
I can tell you that for sure.
It is.
At Mr. Tony Hale on Twitter and Instagram. The 2-episode premiere is already sitting on Disney Plus. So check that out, and you can get Disney Plus right here on Roku. I know that because I loaded it onto my Roku just a few weeks ago. Nice. So check out this show every single Wednesday. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I love being here.
I appreciate that. And I think you meant that because your hands weren't shaking.
My hands weren't shaking. I'm fully relaxed.
Fantastic. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.